Hello, dear listeners. Welcome back to another thoughtful and inspiring episode of our podcast. Today, Kasem and I are going to talk about something that touches everyone's life, no matter what goals they are chasing, no matter what background they come from. We are going to talk about motivation, but not the kind of motivation that lasts for a day or a week. Instead, we want to explore how people can stay motivated through long, difficult journeys, the kinds of journeys that take years, and sometimes a lifetime, to complete. Whether you are studying for a degree, building a business, writing a book, improving your health, or even trying to raise a family, you know that the road is long, full of challenges, and very often, people lose their energy halfway. Today, we want to share stories, strategies, and reflections about how to keep that fire alive, how to keep walking when the road feels endless, and how to enjoy the journey as much as the destination.
That's right, Sarah. I think almost everyone can relate to this because we all start our goals with excitement. At the beginning of any project, our energy is high, our mind is full of dreams, and our heart beats fast with passion. But as weeks turn into months, and months into years, the initial excitement begins to fade. We face obstacles, we get tired, we sometimes feel stuck or even hopeless. And this is where the real test comes. Success is not decided at the start. It is decided in those long, quiet middle chapters where motivation is hard to find. So, today, let's dig deep into how people can sustain their motivation and keep moving forward even when the journey feels never-ending.
Kasem, let's begin with an important question. Why do so many people lose motivation halfway? I think one reason is that people confuse short-term motivation with long-term drive. Short-term motivation is like a spark. It burns bright, but it burns out quickly. For example, someone watches a motivational video or hears a powerful speech and feels unstoppable for a few hours or days. But then life's challenges return, the routine becomes heavy, and that spark fades. Long-term motivation, on the other hand, is more like a steady flame. It may not burn as brightly, but it is consistent and it survives storms. People often fail because they never learn to protect and feed that steady flame.
Yes, and to protect that flame, we need a clear vision. If someone starts a journey without knowing exactly why they are doing it, they will quickly give up. Think about students who start studying medicine. If they are only doing it because of pressure from parents or society, they will struggle through the long years of study. But if they have a deep personal reason, like wanting to save lives, or to serve people in rural areas, or to make medical care better, they can push through the sleepless nights and difficult exams. A strong why creates endurance. When your reason is bigger than your pain, you will keep going.
That is so true, and it reminds me of Viktor Frankl, the Austrian psychologist who survived the concentration camps during World War II. In his famous book, he explained that those who survived were often the ones who had a purpose, something to live for beyond themselves. He wrote, "Those who have a why to live can bear almost any how." This shows us that motivation on a long journey is not just about energy or excitement. It's about purpose. If you know your purpose, you can endure almost anything.
Another strategy is breaking down big goals into smaller steps. Many people lose motivation because the final goal feels too far away. Imagine someone who wants to lose 40 kilos of weight. If they keep looking at the full number, they will feel overwhelmed and may quit. But if they focus on losing just 2 kilos at a time, celebrating each small success, then the big goal becomes possible. Great journeys are not completed in one leap. They are completed step by step. Small victories fuel the energy to keep moving.
Yes, and along with small victories comes the idea of rewarding yourself. We often think motivation only comes from discipline, but the truth is, our brains also need positive reinforcement. If you study for a whole week, give yourself a small treat. If you finish writing one chapter of your book, celebrate in some way. These little celebrations remind your brain that progress is joyful, not just painful. Over time, your brain starts associating the journey with positive emotions instead of only hard work.
And I think we should also talk about the environment. Motivation is not only inside us. It is also around us. If you are surrounded by people who constantly complain, criticize, or give up easily, it will be very hard for you to keep moving. On the other hand, if you are around people who encourage you, who work hard themselves, and who remind you of your goals, you will naturally feel more motivated. This is why successful people always say, choose your circle wisely. Motivation is contagious, both the positive kind and the negative kind.
Yes, and it goes beyond just people. Even your physical environment matters. If your desk is messy, your room is dark, your phone is full of distractions, your motivation will drain quickly. But if you create a space that feels clean, inspiring, and focused, you will be surprised at how much easier it becomes to stay consistent. Motivation is not just about willpower. It is about designing your life in a way that supports your goals.
Another thing we should not forget is energy management. Many people quit not because they lack motivation, but because they are simply exhausted. They try to work without rest, without proper sleep, without exercise, and eventually they burn out. Great achievers understand that rest is not wasting time. It is part of the journey. Athletes, for example, train hard, but they also prioritize recovery. Students who take short breaks during study actually remember more. Motivation survives longer when the body and mind are well taken care of.
I couldn't agree more. And let's also mention the power of stories. When we read biographies of people who have succeeded in long journeys, we find inspiration. We realize we are not alone. For example, Nelson Mandela spent 27 years in prison before becoming the president of South Africa. Imagine the patience and inner strength required to keep his hope alive through nearly 3 decades of suffering. Stories like this remind us that difficulties are not signals to quit, but opportunities to grow stronger. Reading about others' struggles and victories can refill our own motivation tank.
Yes, and sometimes we need to adjust our expectations. Many people give up because they expect fast results. They think success is a straight road, when in reality, it is full of curves, delays, and setbacks. If you accept that the journey will be long, you won't be shocked when difficulties come. Patience becomes your secret weapon. As the old saying goes, Rome wasn't built in a day, neither are great dreams.
Another secret is to focus on progress, not perfection. People often quit because they compare themselves to others who are ahead. But comparison kills motivation. Instead, look at where you started and how far you've come. Even if you are not yet where you want to be, you are no longer where you were yesterday. Progress, no matter how small, is a sign that you are moving forward, and that is enough to keep you motivated.
And finally, Sarah, I think we must talk about self-belief. The long journey is lonely. There will be moments when nobody claps for you. Nobody believes in your dream, and even you feel uncertain. In those moments, the voice you choose to believe, your own inner voice, decides whether you keep going or stop. If you keep reminding yourself, I am capable, I am learning, I am improving, that inner belief becomes fuel. Without self-belief, no strategy will save you. With self-belief, even the hardest road becomes walkable.
That's powerful, Kasem. So, if we summarize, staying motivated on a long journey requires a strong purpose, breaking goals into steps, rewarding progress, choosing the right environment, managing energy, learning from stories, adjusting expectations, focusing on progress, and above all, believing in yourself. It's not easy, but it is possible. And everyone listening today can start applying these strategies right away.
Dear listeners, as we reach the end of this episode, I want you to reflect on your own journey. Maybe you are halfway through a goal. Maybe you are tired, maybe you feel forgotten, maybe you doubt whether the end is worth it. Let me tell you this. The fact that you are still walking means you are already stronger than you think. Motivation is not about feeling excited every day. It is about showing up, step by step, even on the days when you don't feel like it. That quiet consistency is what builds greatness.
Yes, and remember, every long journey is made up of small steps. Do not underestimate the power of doing something small every day. Over months and years, those small actions add up to extraordinary results. And whenever you feel weak, go back to your purpose, go back to your vision, and remind yourself why you started. You are capable of more than you imagine, and the world is waiting for the gift that only you can bring.
Thank you for sharing this time with us. We hope today's conversation has given you strength, hope, and practical tools to keep moving forward. Until next time, keep believing, keep progressing, and keep walking with courage.
Goodbye, dear friends, and may your journey, no matter how long, be filled with persistence, growth, and joy.